Okay? You may be a deck cadet right now. Okay? And all of these, or maybe a deck rating. But if you're an aspiring deck officer, I highly recommend you watch this video. You read this, you share this to your friends who are also aspiring third officers. Okay? In this video, we are going to tackle company recommended masters standing orders. Now, this video is intended for deck cadets and newly promoted deck ratings na they would just go their first third officer position. Okay? Now, let's get started. Okay? Company recommended master standing orders. Now, this document is entitled, or we have a code, BMM/A-03. Let me just get started here at the top. Okay? In some other companies, they would choose a different number, A-02 or maybe A-05. That depends. But in our company, it was A-03. BMM, or it stands for Bridge Management Manual. Okay? This was the April 20. This was released April 20, way back 2016, version 2.01. Okay? Now, we've got here the first standing order. Okay, let's go with number 1. The officer of the watch is the master's representative, and his primary responsibility at all times is the safe navigation of the sea vessel, which must at all times comply with the international regulations for preventing collisions at sea, or we call it call regs. Okay, now you would be the future officer of the watch. Okay, your job is to know all of your equipments. I have made videos about it. You need to know how to operate your navigational equipment in case emergencies arises. You need to know who's to contact. You need to know when to contact. You should know, okay, I should call my captain now. I think I cannot handle the situation very well. I think I should call my captain now. Okay, you should be alert. Okay, you know that song, Live Awake, Alert, in 2 a.m., stuff like that. Okay, I mean, on doing your duty or your watch, it's the same thing. Okay, comply with the call regs. Now, the call regs, okay, we would go into too much detail if we discuss call regs, but I highly recommend you read that book, so it would be much easier. Okay. Number 2, the mere presence of the master on the bridge does not mean that he is taking over from the officer on duty. Say for instance, you are the duty officer, you are the third officer, okay? Your watch is around 2000 hotel to, let's say, midnight. Okay? Now, sometimes the captain goes within your duty somewhere around 20 to 30. Okay? He went in, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he is taking charge. If he says, okay, I'm taking the con, I am taking the watch, then and only then you should listen to his commands. Okay? But if he's not saying anything, dude, remain alert. Okay? You are still in charge of the navigational watch. Okay? Whenever he intends such a takeover, he will make his intention known to the officer on watch in clear and specific terms, just like what I told you. Okay? Number 3 is, the master is available at all times of the day or night. Okay? And the duty officer must never hesitate to call him whenever in any doubt. Okay? Let's say, for example, your things malfunction, your radar suddenly malfunctions, it doesn't work, all of it suddenly shut down, or maybe your ECDIS, or let's just say there is a distress situation going on, distress vessel called for a rescue. You need to call your master. You don't immediately go to the site of the distressed vessel. Okay, you call in your master first. Okay, let him assess the scenario, and then he would analyze, okay, I should inform my engineers now, prepare the engines for maneuvering, and then we will go to the distressed location. Okay, but you don't decide immediately that, okay, we'll go for the vessel in distress. No, it's gonna be in the master's decision. Okay, because also the master will contact the charterer. He will also contact the company that, okay, we're gonna have a little bit of delay in the next port because we need to rescue this vessel who is in distress. Okay. Number 4, the officer of the watch must call the master immediately under any of the following circumstances. Okay? Number 1 is if in any doubt about the vessel's position, failure to sight land, navigation marked, light or obtainable soundings by an expected time. Okay? This is the part of the passage plan. Conversely, if either land or a navigation mark is sighted unexpectedly, now it's the other way around, or if an unexpected reduction of sounded depth occurs. Okay, if things goes south. Okay, you contact immediately the master. You don't, oh no, magaling ako. No, I'm the best officer in the world. I don't need captain. No, overconfidence makes you careless. Okay? If the visibility deteriorates due to any reason below 5 nautical miles, on encountering heavy traffic, especially concentrations of vessel engaged in fishing, you inform your master, okay? But usually, you are receiving reports already that in this position, I mean, this is the modern times, okay? I mean, radio signals are constantly being updated, radio reports, GMDSS reports are constantly updated every single minute, okay? So, I mean, you could, well, be informed way ahead, okay? On encountering difficulty due to traffic, again, concerned and in doubt about the movement of certain other vessels or unable to maintain CPA or closest point of approach, okay? As specified in Master Standing Order or Night Order, okay? If any navigational equipment ceases to function, contact Master immediately. If the radio equipment malfunctions, if there is engine trouble, if there is sudden change in vessel speed, if there is a sudden change in wind direction, well, typically you would always know. Whenever difficulty is experienced in maintaining course due to heavy traffic, all of this can be known through your reports, GMDSS reports, way ahead. Okay, officers today are well informed by the nearest coast stations, by their charterers through emails. Oh, you would encounter this low pressure area in this specific position. Okay? Any low-flying aircraft or helicopter is sighted by the officer of the watch making deliberate passes or inspecting the vessel. Okay? In case that some kind of helicopter is spying on you, maybe some kind of military or rescue vessel, or giving a signal in case, okay, the rescue plane needs help, okay, the radio is not functional or they cannot communicate by radio. Usually, if a vessel is circling around your vessel, if a plane is circling around your vessel, there's a very high chance that they need your help, okay, and they would rock their wings, okay, and they would go to the direction where you should go, okay. But that's on another topic, okay? The officer on duty is tired or not feeling well due to any reason whatsoever. And yung papalitan mong official, if the officer that you are about to take over is quite a bit tired, or maybe cannot masyadong nakainom, nag-short leave, lasing, ganyan. But that depends. The relieving officer is not in a physical condition to take over the next watch, or in his opinion, unable to keep an efficient watch, okay? Next is whenever the duty officer experience any event or occurrence which is unusual or extraordinary. So far, wala pa naman nangyayari ganyan. If any oil is noticed in the water or if any oil spill is noticed on deck, either in port or at sea, you call master. If the ship meets any hazard to navigation such as ice or derelict iceberg right ahead, okay? Next is whenever the duty officer experiences any event or occurrence in any other emergency or if in any doubt. Okay? Next. Number 5. Navigation lights are to be kept on at all times, day or night. Let me say it one more time. Navigation lights, the side lights, the masthead lights, should be kept on at all times. Why? Because there are incidents that the officer of the watch or the OOW tends to forget that, hey, you need to turn on the lights during nighttime. Okay, and it nearly caused several accidents. Okay, that's why they made it a standing order that navigation lights are to be kept on at all times. Okay, when the vessel is underway, the master should be notified in case of their malfunction. Always check that your side lights are working. On your bridge wings, you could look up, you could look down actually, you could look down that, hey, is my side light still working? Is my port light still working? Is my starboard light still working? Oh, it's working. Okay. How about my masthead light? Oh, yeah, it's still working. How about my forward masthead light? Let me check. Oh, yeah, it's still working. Okay. The officer of number 6, the officer of the watch is responsible for the maintenance of a continuous and alert navigational watch. In order to keep an efficient watch, the officer on duty shall ensure the following. Okay. You may be a deck cadet right now. Okay, and all of these, or maybe a deck rating. But if you're an aspiring deck officer, I highly recommend you watch this video. You read this, you share this to your friends who are also aspiring third officers. Okay. Now, letter A is an alert all-around visual and oral lookout to allow a full grasp of the current situation, including the presence of ships and landmarks in the vicinity. He is not, let me say it one more time, he is not to leave the bridge unattended unless properly relieved. Okay, you don't leave. Okay, if you're hearing background noises, I do apologize. The house is being restored. Okay, I do apologize. Okay, he is not to leave the bridge unattended unless properly relieved. Okay, same thing in school. Okay, you have this some kind of duty. Okay, sa school meron ganyan, sa academy may ganyan, 'di ba? Where you practice having rounds, having duties. You would duty for, let's say, 4 hours. Okay, 4 hours, and then you would wait for someone to relieve you of duty. Okay. Letter B is close observation of the movements and bearing of approaching vessels. Safe CPA to be maintained at sea as per judgment of the duty officer in the prevailing circumstances and conditions. Master to be consulted when in doubt. Okay. Letter C, identification of ship and shore lights. Okay, dapat malinaw. Letter D, close monitoring that the course is being steered accurately. Always check your compass. Okay, check your compass is aligned. Okay, the gyro error should be around 0, 0.1, 0.2. That's understandable. When in port, also take a gyro reading. Okay, to verify that, okay, my gyro compass and magnetic compass is aligned. Everything's fixed. No gimbals need to be replaced, or maybe adjusted. Oh, no magnets need to be replaced. No. Okay, always check on that one. Okay. Observation of the radar and echo sounder displays. Okay, observation of changes in the weather, obviously. Make periodic and frequent checks of all navigational equipment. Obvious. Visually ascertain the vessel's position, which should have priority over all other means of obtaining a position. Now, this is at sea, but maximum number of other aids to navigation shall be used to cross-check the position obtained by visual bearings. If you cannot have some kind of dead reckoning position or maybe landmarks, you can always use, well, CELNAV, celestial navigation. Ensure that while coasting or in high-density traffic areas, i.e. China or maybe Malacca Strait, okay, the duration of time interval between two position fixes does not exceed 15 minutes. Hindi po mag-exceed, should not exceed 15 minutes. However, whilst in restricted waters, passing dangers, or in very close proximity of land or approaching harbors, the frequency, listen to this, the frequency of position fixing should be increased as deemed necessary. Always assess, okay, what's the proper interval for your position fixing. Okay, you've got dead reckoning, you've got the 2 cross fixed position, but in my case, we always use 3-point fix. Okay, 3-point fix to verify. At all times while underway, plot and record GPS fixes every hour. Okay, you have your GPS logbook. Compare compasses regularly. Now, this is the part where gyro error comes in. I've made a video about it where you can have your free gyro error calculator. Compare compasses regularly and frequently. Compass errors are to be verified at least once every watch. Chief mate's watch, second officer's watch, third officer's watch. Okay? Whenever change in course is executed with proper record in the compass observation book. All of the details. Now, I have made a video about it. Okay, and I'll put it here somewhere. Okay, that the correct gyro error should be determined. Okay, fill up all logs only after completion of his watch. He shall, as far as is practicable, spend minimum time in the chart room. Again, because you need to have visual observation with what's happening outside. Okay, because during night watch, for example, night watch, okay, your curtains are gonna be separating you and to your radar and ECDIS. Okay? So, may block na, nakaharang na yung kortina mo. Okay? Kaya mahihirapan ka na, ano ba nangyayari sa labas? E paano kapag ka nagkalokohan? Diba? May dumaan bigla na, I don't know, fishing vessel or maybe bangka or something. Or maybe may dumaan na malaking vessel, di natin alam. Okay? So again, bilisan. Oh, well, not do it, 'di ba, na pangit yung pagkaka-entry mo. Do it, 'di ba? competently, but at the same time, kailangan with speed. Okay? Ensure that proper procedure, ensure, letter M, okay? Ensure that proper procedural practices, bridge checklists are compiled with at all times and being properly filled up. Again, what I've said before. Letter N, November, a proper listening watch on VHF channel 16 to be maintained at all times. VHF channel 16 is your distress channel. Okay? All around channel. Heavy weather precautions to be initiated on encountering weather of Beaufort wind scale and above. We suggest Beaufort wind scale 06. Okay, you have your Beaufort wind scale, which discusses, okay, 06, 05, that depends. Okay, but again, the Beaufort wind scale will guide you what kind of direction or wind speed you are encountering, and then you would input that in your deck logbook. Okay, now I don't want to go into too much detail because this video would be longer. Okay, when restricted visibility, we're about to finish. Okay, number 7, okay, when restricted visibility is encountered or expected, the first responsibility of the officer of the watch is to comply with IMO call regs, paying particular attention to, letter A, informing the master, posting of additional lookouts. Okay, you need to call your helmsman, okay, in case you've decided to not have a helmsman and only have your OOW. Letter C, confirming operation exhibition of navigation lights, just like what I've said before. Switching on the radar and commence tracking or plotting of all targets. Confirming operation of sound signaling appliances. Informing engine room and putting engines on standby in case. Okay? Wherever the ship is at anchor. Now this one's different. Okay? Number 8. Wherever the ship is at anchor, the officer on watch should, letter A, anchor only in designated anchorages or where evidence of safe anchoring is available. Okay, together you work well with your master on this one. Okay, selecting a proper safe anchorage area. Letter B, take early action to avoid any unforeseen event when weather worsens, i.e. unless circumstances do not allow, pick up anchor when wind force is greater than Beaufort scale force 7. Okay, Beaufort force 7. Okay, letter C, determine and plot the ship's position on the appropriate chart. Okay, the moment things screwed up, okay, determine and plot the ship's position on the appropriate chart as soon as practicable. Okay, because you don't want to be panicking, dapat pala nilagay ko dito yung position and all. Okay, dapat ginawa mo na right from the start. If the vessel drags, notify the master and undertake all necessary measures. Letter E, ensure that the state of readiness of the main engines and other machinery is in accordance with master's instructions. Okay, probably the master has informed chief engineer, chief, in case things go south, we could immediately maneuver with the engines. Can you prepare the engines? Okay, Cap, just give us short notice. Simple. Letter F, notify master if visibility deteriorates and comply with the call regs. Okay, I mean, normally we don't inform master when things get, diba? When visibility deteriorates. I mean, we don't do that stuff. I mean, we already know it. Ensure vessel exhibits appropriate lights and shapes and that appropriate sound signals are made at all times. If the vessel is at anchor, we put one black ball, okay, or net. Okay, we use the net. Okay. Keep a close watch on ships anchored or maneuvering in the vicinity. Ensure VHF watch is being maintained on channels as instructed by the master. Ensure, letter J, ensure that no unauthorized boats or persons come on board the vessels. Well, honestly, this is what's happening outside. Okay, some people are going on board to sell, let's say, we want to sell let's say SIM cards, okay, or maybe vodka. Okay, sometimes it does happen. Okay, observe weather, tidal, and sea conditions, and notify master of any unusual or unexpected changes, sudden changes, especially wind direction and speed. Okay, if things suddenly change, okay, you have to inform captain. Ensure strict anti-theft or pilferage patrols and fire patrols are effectively made. Okay, you've got your watch. Okay, you've got your pilferage patrols on board. Okay, letter M, notify master immediately on noticing any oil in the water. We are preventing oil spill. Okay, even if the officer has no doubt that it is not coming from own vessel. Okay, this is the worst case scenario to happen. Okay, but typically in my experience, we haven't experienced it. Okay, in my years on being on board, I have never experienced this, or not in any of our ships. Okay. Number 9, read and be completely familiar with the following company's Bridge Procedures Manual, which we will discuss on another video. Letter B, Bridge Procedures Guide, ICS publication. You have your ICS publication on board. Number 10, officers must use all the equipment judiciously and with proper care. The bridge and all equipment to be kept clean at all times. Okay? Presence of pilots on the bridge. Again, I have said this before and I will say it again. Presence of pilot on the bridge does not relieve the officer in charge of the navigational watch from his duties and obligations towards the safety and pollution prevention of the ship. Okay? Number 12, the officer of the watch must remember that all bridge equipment, including steering gear and engines, are at his disposal. You are the one, okay, inside the bridge, and must not hesitate to use them judiciously for the safety and pollution prevention of the vessel. However, timely notice of intended variations of engine speed shall be given where possible. Use of BNWAS or Bridge Navigational Watch Alarm System. Okay, the Bridge Navigational Watch Alarm System shall be in operation whenever the ship is underway at sea. BNWAS at the beginning of sea passage must be put on mode. Okay, if it passes the 7-minute mark, it would drop from green to yellow to red, and then it will alarm first inside the bridge, and then it will alarm master's cabin. Okay, signaling that okay, your officer is asleep. Okay, only master. Also, every 7 minutes you should press the button. Okay, although you could change the time. Okay, you could change the timer. Okay, only master shall authorize the change in dormant period of BNWAS. All changes made should be recorded. Okay, BNWAS can be turned off only with vessel in port, and only master has the authority to activate and deactivate the BNWAS. Okay, mooring and unmooring operations to be done as per company procedures. Tug lines are to be handled using messenger line at all times. Okay, say for instance, okay, just imagine my hand is the mooring line. Okay, this is the eye of the mooring line. The messenger line is this piece of line. Okay, holding the eye. Okay, holding the eye, and then so you could easily push, or I should say pull. Okay, you could pull easily the tug line. Okay, and then connect it to your bits. Okay, you don't handle the mooring line directly by your hand into the eye, because okay, all of a sudden maybe the tug would pull the tug line, and then you would hurt your fingers. Okay, so what you do is you put a messenger line or a small heave of line, okay, and then you put it in the eye, and then you pull it, and then you insert it your bits. Simple. Okay. On ECDIS vessels where ECDIS is primary means of navigation, all navigating officers are fully familiarized with operation of ECDIS and capable enough to operate the equipment for safe execution of passage. Again, you have your training for your ECDIS. You've got your ECDIS generic training and your ECDIS specific training. ECDIS generic is, well, this is the base knowledge for ECDIS trainings, for all of the wisdom that you would need for ECDIS. Okay? The ECDIS specific is, well, it's specifically designed for the vessel. Okay, the training that you are about to undergo is specifically designed to the vessel that you are boarding. Say for instance, if you're boarding a Japanese built vessel, more likely you're gonna have to study JRC ECDIS training, or maybe Furuno ECDIS training. That depends. Okay, please remember that whilst on the bridge as an officer of the watch, you have been entrusted with the safety of the entire vessel and every life on board. Practicing the age-old adage, better to be safe than sorry, cannot be overemphasized. I don't need to explain that one. Okay? And then you put here master's name and signature and the date. These recommended master standing orders should be intended as general guidance to be used by the masters when issuing their own standing orders. Usually, your captain of the ship would add additional standing orders. Okay, oh, watch out for pirates. Okay, call me if pirates are starting to board our ship or things go south. Okay, call me if we pass this point. Call me if we pass the Rockwell point or something. Okay, that depends where your ship is. Okay, we also put the names of the chief officer that second officer and also the third officer here on this side, on this portion, because to make sure that the officers are well informed by the master's standing orders. Okay, so again, I know if you're the cadet or maybe a deck rating, this is a very long video. Probably you're not gonna watch this fully, but at least you are familiarized with the things that you are about to experience on board. Okay, so again, hope you burns up and you be happy, and most importantly, to God be all the glory. Keep safe. Ingat ka.